Hello and welcome to Zurich and the Grasshopper Cup 1992. We have a high-class tournament for you with a lot of exciting players. The world number 3, Chris Dittmar, title holder. The world champion, Rodney Martin from Australia. Top 15 player, Chris Walker. The English champion, Peter Marschall, a two-handed player. From South Africa, the number 2, Gunaway. Craig Wapnick, also from South Africa, playing number 1 in Switzerland. Number 2 in Switzerland, the veteran Phil Kenyon, and the number 3 in Switzerland and men's national team coach, Andrew Marschall. Andrew, that's quite a list of players there. What sorts the men out from the boys?
Well, you've got a lot of guys there who've been playing top squash for a long time. 2 fields really. You've got the top 4 seeds and then the second 4. I mean, all the guys play a good game of squash. And what's probably difficult for a club player to find out is where the differences are when they are playing. I mean, having played against some of them, I would say there's a few things that you do notice. Their ball control around the court is much more accurate. They play the ball into the 4 corners the whole time. And that allows them to stand in the middle of the court and control the tee. They hit the ball on the volley a lot more. Time to move into the back of the court and have a little rest. And the other thing is that once you have got them on the rack, they keep running and they keep running and they keep running.
So Andrew's gone off to get changed for his match. We're going to show you 2 of the quarterfinals. First one up is Andrew Marschall against Rodney Martin. And we join the match in the second game. Rodney Martin leading
and out.
1-love.
Love all.
Andrew moving very well and hitting shots like that. That's the kind of shot you'd expect from the world champion. Andrew showing him how it should be done. In the tin again.
2-love.
The world champion not looking quite so sharp as he was when he won the World Championship a few months ago. And Andrew nicking another one in.
3-love.
Playing him out of position with the drop shot and hitting him to the back of the court. 4-love. That was a tight drop shot from Rodney, his trademark.
And out, love 4. And out.
Well, that's another one in the tin from Rodney.
Love.
Another kill from Andrew. The story of this second game.
5-love. Let go. 5-love.
Good pick up from Andrew. And good length from Rodney Martin.
Love 5.
It's love 5. We wouldn't have expected to see Rodney Martin so far down in the second game.
And out, 5-love.
Rodney Martin played out of position again.
6-love.
And another nick. This is a very strong lead from Andrew now. 7-love.
Love. Stroke.
That's a
to
clear
Martin.
stroke.
And out.
Andrew blocking the shot to the front wall.
Love 7.
And the world champion turning the tables on
Love
Andrew now, moving him
7.
to the front and then hitting him to the back of the court, catching him out of position. We've got a lot of work to do to pull back this deficit. Yes, and Rodney keeping the ball to the back of the court now. He's going to have to keep Andrew to the back of the
7.
court and work up a base where he can play his killing shots from. Well, this is
7.
the tactic Rodney's trying to play now. Keep Andrew at the back of the court. Under pressure at the back there, Andrew. Back in the rally now. Stop shot. Pace being a little bit forced now by Rodney Martin.
4-7.
Forcing that error out of Andrew. Perfect drop shot from Martin.
5-7.
Andrew caught out of position at the back and Rodney Martin finishing the ball off.
6-7.
Well, he's caught up 6-7. That's a great post. Well, I get the feeling Andrew might have missed the boat here. 7-love lead is now 7-all. Martin looking more at home now, spending more time on the tee. Yes. Tired shot from Andrew at the end of that rally.
8-7 game ball. Nine-7 game to Martin.
And Rodney Martin went on
Martin
to win that match 9-6, 9-7, 9-4.
Dittmar to serve, Way ground to receive. Best of 5 games, love all.
to join this quarter-final in the first game. And joining me on the commentary after his tough match there with the world champion is Andrew Marschall.
Hello, Chris.
So you had a nice shower after that one, Andrew?
Yeah, I needed it.
I think Gunaway might need one after this game. Chris Dittmar in very good form at the moment. See how this one goes. And straight away, the killing boast from Dittmar at the start of the game.
I think we're certainly going to see a lot of running in this one, Chris. Gunner's renowned for his ability to cover all corners of the court, and I'm sure Dittmar's going to show them to him.
Yes. Also, it's a trademark of Dittmar's play that he dominates the tee and sends his opponent all over the shop. As we see there.
Stroke.
Oh, that's unfortunate fall for
Too
Gunner
long.
there, but leaving himself totally in the way of Dittmar's shot. So the referee, quite rightly, awarding the stroke to Dittmar.
Yes, I wouldn't want to get in the way of one of Dittmar's shots in that position.
And out.
Exactly the same
Love to.
situation again. Dittmar getting in the way of his own shot and preventing Gunner from hitting the ball to the front wall. So once again, a stroke decision. Probably, Chris, one of the most difficult things for our viewers to understand the let and stroke situation.
Yes, we've been lucky to have two very clear examples of the stroke there. I'm sure we're going to get a few tighter ones later on.
I mean, basically, the main thing to look for is it a question of not being able to hit the ball or moving to the ball. If the referee sees that it's a clear hitting problem, then he's going to award the stroke.
No
And I
let.
think,
For example, here we've gone away looking for a let. What do you think?
well, it's always difficult. I mean, I think there certainly maybe Dittmar was in the way of his shot. Like I said, if the referee's not sure, then he will obviously
Love.
not award the stroke, and maybe even, like in that situation, give the no let. If he actually thinks it's just a moving problem, the player's prevented from getting to the ball, then it will always be a let ball.
It's a loose shot from Gunaway onto the tee, and Dittmar gives him one back, tit for tat. And a loose one in the tin from Gunner.
4 love.
That's a quick lead of 4-love for Chris Dittmar at the start of this match.
I think beginning of every match, players take a bit of time to settle down. Quite often one starts quicker than the other. And I mean, Gunner's not playing against players of Dittmar's calibre all the time, and he'll certainly need a bit of time to get used to the pace of the game.
Yes, and I suppose he's not used to playing quite as tight as Dittmar keeps it.
You can see he's able to keep the ball tight in the back. He's just not renowned for playing the ball so tight to the front of the court.
Of course, any loose shots at any part of the court are going to get gobbled up by Chris Dittmar. He's not number 3 in the world for nothing.
Not up.
Just catching the top of the tin
And
there.
out. Love 5.
Ball was down.
You see there, the ball in the middle of the court from Dittmar, and
1 5.
Gunner found the winning reverse angle. I mean, at every level, if you can keep the ball away from the middle of the court, and you get the opponent's loose shot back in the middle, you can always dominate the game. And I mean, this is where what Gunner's really got to concentrate on against Dittmar. He's got to keep him away as much as he can from the tee and not be afraid to go for his winners when he gets a loose ball. Quite often you get afraid of attacking a player with a reputation such as Dittmar.
Hand out.
It's another one in the tin
5-1.
from Gunnar. 5-1 Dittmar. There's quite a few loose balls ending up in the middle of the court here, Andrew. Not very tight at the moment.
It's sort of balance between good and bad at the moment.
A sign that both players are trying to settle into this first game.
Now this is where you see Dittmar really controlling the tee. You also get the sort of, from this front camera angle, you also get the idea of the speed of the players moving into the front of the court.
That was a tight boast.
Long rally as well.
The longest rally of the match so
Hand
far.
out. 1-5.
Gunnar getting on the score sheet, 1-5.
I certainly think Gunner's got into the pace of the game now, and attacking the ball on the volley a little bit. Seems to be enjoying himself.
That's a tricky one from Dittmar.
And too tricky.
Hand out. Time, please.
Thanks for a few late arrivals.
Hand out. 5-1.
Dittmar stepping up the pace a little bit in this rally.
Well, again, it always depends on the kind of ball you're getting from your opponent. If he's hitting the ball in the middle, you're able to step the pace up. And this is the difference between the players right at the top and those trying to get to the top. You've just got to, when you're under pressure, keep that ball away from the middle of the court. Now Gunner's doing it, and he's back in the middle himself.
Dittmar having to stretch.
A lot of
And
movement
again.
in this rally. And both players lobbing the ball from the front of the court to gain time.
And Dittmar
Oh,
had
what a
plenty of
rally.
time to choose a winning shot there. Great rally, both players moving around the court a lot. Dittmar finishing it off.
6-1 left box.
I mean, although Gunner's not winning a lot of points, he certainly is playing to a very good standard here.
He bounds around the court, doesn't he? Leaps and bounds.
Full of energy, and he actually one thing he never seems to be lacking is his energy. Something I could have actually done with against Rodney.
Against Rodney at the end. Oh, My goodness me. Don't often see that one played.
I mean, probably quite a lot of people watching this actually miss what Dittmar does
7-1.
or did there.
Played a very sharp angle into the nick on the boast there. This is Dittmar's great strength, being able to flick with the wrist and change the shot at the last moment. Very hard for the opponent to pick up what's going on.
You should actually see the size of his forearm. It's,
Oh, Dittmar is quite a size himself. He's one of the biggest squash players at almost 80 kilos, I think.
oh, shot.
Oh, and killed dead. Gunaway can do it too.
And out 1-7.
He's got the serve back. He's still only got 1 point. Well, there's the second one. Dittmar putting the
2-7.
serve into the tin. You don't often see that. What a stretch.
Again. He's over again, but up again this time. Didn't give the stroke away.
Yes,
I'm not happy with it, huh?
That's how he should have done it the first time. Dittmar wants to play on.
And out 7-2.
Another great stretch to the front.
Out of position, hit to the back corner there. We can see that from the front camera very
8-2
clearly.
game ball.
And it's game ball. Dittmar, of course, himself stretches very well, but he always seems to stay perfectly in balance. Gunner flying from one corner to the other at times here. There he goes again.
Game to
Too late for that one.
9-2.
So the first game goes to Dittmar 9-2, and that was how the rest of the match went on, with Dittmar moving the ball around the court and Gunnar running for everything, but not able to get the points needed. And really is unbelievable what he ran for. Dittmar just keeping the ball tight most of the time. And you get a great idea with this back camera of the speed of the game and tightness of the balls along the wall.
A little bit of an injustice there. Dittmar putting that one in the tin after moving Gunnar all over the court. Here we see it in slow motion. The accuracy of Dittmar and the mobility of Gunaway.
There he is, look at that. Up against the glass wall, bounces back into the rally. And then up again for the next shot. Really full of energy.
In the quarterfinals, Chris Dittmar beat Gunaway 3-love. Craig Wapnick lost 3-1 to Chris Walker. Phil Kenyon lost 3-love to Peter Marschall. And predictably enough, Andrew Marschall lost 3-love to the world champion, but he gave him a very good game. Andrew, what was it like playing Rodney Martin?
Well, I mean, the first phase of the Marschall plan failed. We got Peter Marshall's got him in the next round. Peter and I talked about this match beforehand. We thought that one of us was going to get him. I think he's got a good chance, actually, because playing Rodney's not on top form at the moment. He had an injury after the World Championship, which kept him out of training. He hurt his foot. And, I mean, I noticed that he's not hitting the ball as well as he normally does. He relies on that in his game. He likes to place the ball into the nick at the front of the court, and that wasn't working. He made a lot of mistakes. And fitness-wise, I don't think he's up to what he was when he won the World Championships. So I think part 2 of the Marschall plan might stand a good chance.
Yes, and in the other semi-final we've got Chris Dittmar against Chris Walker. How does that look?
Well, Dittmar, as we've always known, is always precise, always controlling the tee. I think Chris Walker, he hasn't been as in the world's top 15 as long as Dittmar has, and hasn't got the experience yet to be able to put Chris Dittmar under the kind of pressure that he needs to. And I think it'll be a fairly clear 3-love for Dittmar.
So let's see how these predictions will turn out in the semi-finals. So love all, first game, Peter Marschall, Rodney Martin.
Well, this is the one we've all been waiting for. I'm sure Peter's quite pleased that he's
1-love.
got another crack at one of the top 5 players in the world.
Yeah, I think it's the 3rd time he's played Rodney Martin. Up until now he's lost both previous games.
Well, Peter's slowly been sort of ticking the top players off in his books over the last year. He's been moving up very steadily in the world rankings, up to 14 now, and still climbing. I remember about, I think it was 2 years ago in Basel at the Jeffreys Open, he was ranked at about 90 something and won that tournament quite comfortably.
Well, it's come a long way from there.
Actually, he's no stranger to Switzerland, Peter Marschall, Chris. He was here as a junior as well, about the age of 11, playing in the Swiss Junior Open.
Yes. Well, he's doing all right here at the start of this game. He's certainly having a go at Rodney Martin. Hits the ball so hard with those 2 hands to the back of the court, Peter Marschall.
For people who've never actually seen him or someone who does play with 2 hands, and there's not many of those around, it's quite a strange sensation at the start. You wonder how he does it.
Lost the duel of the drop shots there.
Yes.
So he does play some shots with one hand when he hasn't got time to get both hands on the racket there, or has to stretch.
Yes, that's something he's had to learn as he's gone up in the world rankings, because obviously the game gets so much faster the higher you get, and there's not always time for him to prepare the racket with those 2 hands. But when he does have time, he can use the 2 hands for power or touch with great effect.
The ball.
So just touching Rodney on the backswing there,
So
and
it's a let ball on the backswing. Yes, it's often difficult for the spectators to see. Huh?
well, Rodney was not stopping him from playing a winning shot. It was just a slight touch on the backswing, so played the let.
There he was hit with the ball, Peter Marschall from Rodney.
Level.
And he's given a let because the ball was going to hit the sidewall.
That's right, they're going for each other here. Peter hitting with the racket, Rodney getting him back with the ball. Obviously not something one wants to do, but does happen occasionally.
No, I don't think any of it intentional, of course.
No.
Peter Marschall, an extremely fair player, and Rodney Martin also a great example for the game.
Le ball.
Again, a movement problem there in the back of the court. Peter not being able to get round Rodney to the length.
Misread the line of shot on that one.
3-1.
I think the ball hit the floor first.
So Peter moving ahead here in the start of this game. But Rodney getting the open court and putting the ball away as is his trademark. One thing you'll also see from this front camera is the preparation of Rodney Martin's racket. The way the racket face always opens up before each shot.
Of course, this allows him to cut the ball a lot more than most players.
And also, Chris, to change the angle of the shot at the last second, and that's why when you're playing him, you never know where you've got to go next.
Another cut shot to the front of the court, moving Peter Marschall up. So what's the referee going to give here?
The ball.
Yes, I think right decision there again, just a
Running
movement
right.
problem.
1-3.
So Rodney settled down a little bit now. Started to play a few rallies, putting some balls nicely straight down the wall.
He loves to play that one, Rodney, the straight drop.
And a lot of movement in this rally from both players again. Rodney having to colour the full length of the court and just getting the ball back off the back wall.
Longest rally so far.
Certainly is.
Oh. This isn't the sort of shot that Rodney plays when he's in form, is it?
Yes, but I mean, although he put that one in the tin, he actually moved ahead quite nicely. The rest of the game up to 8-5, and we join it there.
Stroke to Peter and add.
And
5-8.
Peter getting back in with a stroke decision, couldn't hit that ball towards the front wall, and saved the game ball to take the score to 5-8. And it was mistakes such as that that took Peter back to 8-all, and we join it here with Rodney serving at 8-all. Peter's really got himself back into this game, basically by just running, Chris, huh?
Yes, certainly, but I think Rodney, he really should have polished it off there. He had a good lead, but Peter's fought his way back in. I think Rodney's going to kick himself if he doesn't take this set.
Well, it's mistakes at critical times.
And Peter Marschall just doesn't give up on the ball, does he? He runs to everything.
I think if you ever wanted to sort of instill some kind of spirit in a junior, it's Peter's spirit, fight. But I mean, you can't fight and get that kind of ball back.
That's
9-8.
Rodney Martin at his
Game
best.
ball.
So it's a second game ball for Rodney Martin. A really important point for both players. Oh, tight post. Good pickup from Peter Marschall.
A good reply.
Dan.
And another tin there. I mean,
in
that
the tin.
really is Rodney's problem at the moment.
8-9.
Balls in the tin. I mean, they're not far down, but they've only got to touch the red. I'm sure Jeff Hunt would be saying to him, hit the ball higher, Rodney. And Rodney credits a lot of his success to the relationship he's had with Jeff Hunt over the last few years at the Institute of Sport in Australia. Jeff Hunt, of course, the former world champion.
Tight shots there.
Le
Oh,
ball.
what do you think of that one, Andrew? Worth a let?
I'm glad I'm not the referee there, I think.
Rodney not happy.
Well, he knew he'd hit a good shot. And the referee's sure that he would have got it, so just informing the referee that Peter's got two hands on the racket and can't reach as far. He's always got a one-liner, Rodney.
I think he's a little bit unlucky on that one. It was an important time. The referee has to call it as he sees it.
And the other thing is you can't argue too much once he's made his mind up. You're not going to change it. Got to get on with the next point.
Which is exactly what Rodney Martin's doing now.
Just touches at the front of the court.
Peter not able to capitalise on the loose shot in the middle there.
But he's not making mistakes.
Left ball.
I mean, if you look back on that rally, you'd seen that Rodney was the person running around in the corners.
Yes.
I mean, Peter's playing the right game here.
There was no need for Rodney to look a little bit upset with that decision because it was a clear let ball. Maybe he's still disturbed at the decision before. Oh, that one's in the tin.
And risky. I mean, look, his position there, right from the back of the
game
court,
ball.
trying to put the ball across into the nick.
So now he faces saving a game ball. Putting the pressure on. Great cross court.
And out.
I mean, that's what he's got to do now. He's got to step the pressure up. He's got to
9-all game ball.
start hitting the ball more into those back corners.
Got to build this position up, hasn't he, to play his winning shot.
I think all of us who play make the same mistake, Chris.
Tight drop shot from Peter Marschall.
Just the touch of the two hands there.
And out. 9-all game ball.
So it's a second game ball now for Peter Marschall. Can he convert?
Well, he want to. He doesn't have to.
Not with shots like that.
No, Rodney's put the ball into the tin again, and that's how the game went on. And we join it here in the third game. It's 1-all, and Rodney's now got to look to get himself back into the game. And he's certainly making Peter work. But Peter's getting everything back.
Some nice touch there from Rodney Martin.
They were just playing one too many short.
And out.
Yeah, he even hit the floor first on that one under.
Yes.
1-all.
And game move on. Rodney's still making mistakes.
Peter picking up balls like that one. And putting it in the nick.
And out.
Really on a high.
8-5 match ball.
Well, who'd have expected that at the beginning of this match?
A match ball against the world champion.
And if he takes this, it'll be a 3-love. Rodney's got his work cut out to stay in this match now.
Well, he can't think about that. He's just got to play it safe.
Oh, in the tin.
Got a reversal of roles.
And out. 5-8.
So Rodney consoling Peter there after he didn't convert his match ball.
Yeah, a sporting gesture when you consider the situation.
I think if I was him, I'd be a bit more worried about winning this game.
Oh, that's got to be a stroke.
Stroke to Peter.
Yes.
And out. 8-5 match ball.
So, Peter, can you take your chance?
Well, I think he wants it certainly more than Rodney does. it is.
Stand.
Well,
Peter
The story of the match, Chris.
I guess it is. In the
Too
tin.
many mistakes, yes. And that's a great win for Peter Marschall there. 3-love against the world champion.
So Andrew, see if we can keep the Chris's apart here in this second semi-final. It's Dittmar, Chris Walker.
And Chris Haddon in the commentary box.
Yeah, well, not much confusion there. Certainly not if you got me on the court.
Actually, quite an unusual phenomena here. We've got 2 left-handers.
Hand out, full up.
So they're playing the forehand rally down the left-hand wall and the backhand down the right-hand wall. It's quite interesting, the contrast when you get a left-hander and a right-hander playing together.
Whoops, Chris
Ooh,
Dittmar,
bit
very
ball.
sporting, holding
up.
back the shot there.
Yes, I think
Didn't-
Chris was happy about that.
Yes.
With the left-hander against the right-hander, you tend to find that right-handers find it very difficult to get out of the habit of playing the ball down the left-hand wall, which would normally be onto a fellow right-hander's backhand, and they feed the left-hander a lot to his strength on the forehand. Obviously, with 2 left-handers here, this effect is nullified.
Well, this is a familiar pattern. Dittmar working well from the tee. Oh, nice tight straight drop from Chris Walker.
Hand out, love 4.
As I was saying, Dittmar, a familiar pattern there, dominating the tee and sending his opponent around the corners, as he loves to do.
I think it's Chris Walker's obviously a different class of player to Gunaway. He's beaten people like Rodney Martin and other top world players, and he's also got a very attacking game.
Looks very athletic there. Andrew, I remember seeing him a couple of years ago in the Grasshopper Club over for some training, and he looks like he's put on a few leg muscles there.
Yes, he's been training full time now for about 3 years, and obviously all that work over those years is paying off now.
What you haven't mentioned, Andrew, is I believe you've had a hand in coaching Chris Walker
Yeah, well, he was a lot smaller in those days.
as a junior.
Yes, at the age of 10 or so, we used to spend a bit of time on court together.
Oh, it's a great shot.
Yeah. That's what he can do. I mean, if Dittmar does play the ball loose,
1-4.
Walker will be able to put it away. Actually, as a junior, he always had a lot of disadvantages. He was one of the tiniest juniors on the circuit, but
Hand out, 4-1.
obviously one grows up. I think also you've got 2 very classic styles here. You can once again see this open face preparation very early behind each shot.
Yes, and that shot there, typical of the
5-1.
match. Dittmar being able to outmaneuver Chris Walker, pushing him into the back corners, front corners, and Chris Walker not being able to get the ball back onto the front wall there.
6-1.
The match carrying on in this fashion, 9-1, 9-3, and now in the third game, Dittmar keeping the pressure on Chris Walker.
He certainly hasn't given up.
Let's put everything into this game. Chris Walker. Seems to have been on the rack most of the time.
And he's got to be asking himself, what haven't I done, I think.
I wouldn't be the first to ask that question against Chris Dittmar. Dittmar sitting on the tee all the time now.
And now you see this, also the tired recovery from Walker. Look at that, just got the strength to put the ball back onto the front wall.
And again.
No.
It's in the tin.
8-3, game and match ball.
There's a little discussion going on there.
I think he could use the rest.
I think so. Dittmar wanting to get on with it.
Let ball.
Dittmar thinking he was a little bit lucky to get a let out of that, Chris Walker.
Well, I mean, the question the referee had to ask himself there was really Dittmar standing in the way of a good shot to the back of the court, or had Chris Walker not made enough effort, and he decided that Dittmar was standing in the way.
Hand out, 3-8.
Well, he's still in there. Dittmar's a tough player. He didn't like putting that one in the tin. He wants to finish this off. There you go.
Hand out, 8-3, game and match ball.
Walker's still got some speed there.
Let ball.
I think Walker thinking there that was the stroke. Still fighting.
He's very athletic, Chris Walker. Even when he's tired, he's still got spring in his legs.
Out of court, hand out, 3-8.
And still in the game. I mean, that's the one thing I think that's the telling factor at all levels, is you can't give up.
Out of court, 8, match ball, 3.
Just got to keep on fighting, but Dittmar with match ball again.
So neither playing short, waiting for the opening, the loose shot in the middle. You can't risk at this stage of a game. That's what happened to Rodney Martin, huh?
Exactly.
It's a long rally.
Let ball.
And once again punctuated with a clear movement problem into the front of the court.
Left.
Chris Walker happy for a little walk around the court here. Get his breath back.
Oh, looking for something, I think. Inspiration.
Out of court, game and match.
That's it.